do know that having some consistency in a long-range calendar is important to some of our families and certainly to some of our partners in the community who provide student activities or student care. So we're trying to think about it differently, and would it be helpful to do 24 months worth of calendar? But would probably be to run those 2 years through and then sort of reflect on those 2 years, do some more polling or surveying, I guess is a better term, like we've done in the past, and say, okay, well, for the next couple of years, what should those calendars look like? What we've been doing probably historically is every year doing a calendar, doing a calendar, doing a calendar. And one of the things we hear from time to time when we do survey or just in conversation with people is, consistency is a nice thing. Whether they love the calendar, don't love the calendar, at least being consistent and predictable is one attribute that most people agree is a nice thing to have. It helps them plan their months, their weeks, their year, whatever.
And now in previous years, has it fluctuated a lot?
Sometimes. The biggest issues that we've had, start days, when does school start or end, the winter break or the Christmas holidays, how long or how short is that, spring break, do you have a spring break, don't you have a spring break, end of the year, when's graduation, what, do you end in May, do you end in June? So there's been certainly fluctuation a lot. I mean, I guess that's sort of in the eye of the beholder, but yeah, it certainly has fluctuated.
Yeah. Now, did the legislature's decision to stop issuing the waivers for earlier school start dates have any effect in the Dubuque Community School District?
Well, I think it gives us a belief that at least going the next several years is not likely to change. So we know that if we choose a 23rd start date, we're probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
If the waivers were more readily available, or if balanced calendars were, when I say balanced, start earlier in August or later in June, some people call year round. If we were having more conversations around that, we probably would go year to year. But since that's not really something that's been on our agenda as of late, and because of the start date and the waivers, as you mentioned, it just seems like, well, that doesn't feel like that's going to change in the next few legislative sessions. So let's just build a calendar and say, this is when we go to school. So I think you'll see, if you look around the state, more and more districts going to a multi-year calendar, just because again, consistency tends to be one aspect of a calendar that everybody agrees on. Whether you agree on start dates or end dates, those types of things, one thing people tend to agree on is consistency, that it be similar from year to year, because it just makes it easier to plan.
Great.